Let's get right into this action-packed race at Summit Point in the Mazda Rookies. We have a good start, overtaking two cars already and creating a gap. We have a gap to the front as well, so this should keep us safe in turn one in case there's chaos coming up. Tight racing all around until the end, roughly until I make a mistake, and I do need to learn how to overtake cars more effectively. So let's go through turn one. Nobody's gone off track in front of us, surprisingly, so we can now close the gap a little bit and stick with the cars ahead of us. Got a blinker in front of us, which is not good, so I'm backing up to give it a little bit of distance because we never know if they disappear and then reappear right where we were. Going through here on cold tires, they're going a bit faster than the other cars in front of me, but I do need to adjust because I don't know how to get around them in this stage at the moment yet. Thank you for joining me on this race recap. I do weekly race recaps, and then as I learn more YouTubing and editing, other videos as well. We've overtaken another car that's gone off in this hairpin, and we're still staying with the cars ahead, trying to make sure the gap is staying consistent, and for no good reason I make a mistake here. Slowing down, trying to not get back on the track until I check my relative to go back on here safely. As you can probably tell, this is the Rookies. I'm still considering myself a rookie. I do have a D-Class license right now, but that doesn't mean very much, and I'm still learning to drive this car. Prior races to this were also disastrous. It took me a while, even though I've practiced this track for several days, the entire week, until I finally went to drive it. I still made some silly mistakes, so now I've got to clear my head and get on with it. Fortunately, as we come over the crest here, we can still see all the other cars in front of us, so there's still hope that we can catch up and make something out of this. So yeah, weekly race recaps. I started iRacing in August, and I'm trying to document my journey through iRacing here, also learning video editing software and others. I practiced this track for the last couple of days, several days. I am 3 seconds faster on this track than I was last season on it, so huge improvement. That's great. But still ample mistakes. Also, that was the first lap here, so let's not judge the time with 1:43. I should be able to get into the 1:22s at some point fairly soon. Frightening moment, but I stay calm and go towards the back of this car. Most cars do go forward. I've learned that the hard way, and I've learned that from multiple other YouTubers, so thank you to those who have taught me that lesson as well. We're making it around the hairpin here, staying with the cars ahead, catching up, getting closer and closer, so overtakes to be coming soon. Close racing all around, trying to hit my braking points, trying to be consistent as always. Putting the pedal to the metal and full throttle through this turn here. It's so fascinating to me to compare my racing in this season compared to the last one. The last one was my first season in iRacing, and the different fear-inducing turns that did exist, like the last turn here. I never knew how to take this one. I was going through it slowly. Now I have some kind of a reference. Car on the right stays on the right, which is nice. We can overtake it. Just came out of the pits. And now we're hitting some traffic up ahead. 3 cars up ahead. Red car from the pits behind us, so they're not necessarily a threat because they're probably a lap behind us now. But because these 3 cars are going to battle with each other, we are able to catch up as they are going on suboptimal lines and defending from each other. Hopefully we can position ourselves in a way where we can take advantage of that, either on our own merit of overtaking or when they inevitably perhaps will make a mistake. Going through this turn fairly competently up to go 4 before the crest there, and coasting, accelerating, braking. Usually I can brake here quite well, and one of them is off, 2 of them are off, and perfect. Everyone avoided a crash there, which is awesome. Nobody's race has been technically ruined, but since we were hanging back a little bit, we had the benefit of being able to react to it and making our way around it. Luck does play a role in my overtakes many times. I could use more of the track on the left-hand side, but this is alright for now. Always something to improve, always something to get better at. We see another car up ahead, that's the next target. Target for overtaking. Hitting the braking points, tires are warm, so I'm hitting the braking points quite well. Still have to practice braking less harshly to begin with, and then pushing the pedal for the brakes down firmly, because that did slow me down better rather than hitting brakes and sliding first and then releasing. So still, again, lots of driving techniques, braking techniques to practice. Always something to get better at. Still a lot of time to make up on this track. My best time on this track actually was a 1:21.7, I believe. So there's more to come, more to go. We're getting closer to the car ahead, so hopefully we can overtake them again as well. I really like this track. I've practiced it a lot. I enjoy driving on it. I enjoy taking different cars on this track just for practicing different cars. Let me know in the comments what you think of this track. Which one's your favorite? Do you like it? Do you like it on the Mazda? Are there other cars that do really well here that you enjoy driving on them? And onto the straight. Not much to do here. I can relax the hands a little bit. No death gripping the steering wheel. That's not necessarily the best thing to do. I'm getting a little bit closer to the car ahead, so that is always nice to see. Nobody behind us for quite a while, so we're fairly safe from threats behind. Which is of course calming to the mind as we're driving through here. No pressure from the back. Coasting, accelerating once we get it to the apex, and making sure we get a little bit of the curb on the right. Braking into the hairpin, I've gotten quite good at it now, although my entry and exit are compromised. I don't think I'm going into it fast enough. I should not be scrubbing as much speed, but again, like I said earlier, always something to learn, so many things to learn. Trying to focus on one or two things each week to improve on and practice. And it seems to be working compared to last season. Definitely have a 3-second improvement in terms of lap time here, so that's pretty nice. And even this time here, I was able to get a 1 second faster than that in my next race. So overall, happy with the progress, but as you progress, as you know, iRacing pairs you with equally competent drivers, and it becomes always a challenge. It's always a good challenge to go through here. That car in front of us had a bit of a moment, which is good for us. We're now closing the gap even further. They are slow to get out of here, and now we just have to figure out the right moment to overtake them. And this is the main struggle in this race, overtaking that car in front of us. We have several laps to do it. I'm now behind them, looking at their driving style, trying to figure out where they're braking, how are they driving, are they prone to making mistakes where I am not making mistakes, are they not making mistakes where I've usually made mistakes, and can I learn from that? Those are my thought processes as I'm following them, as I'm going behind them. I also have to remind myself to not just stare at that car ahead, and also keep an eye on the track itself so that I can hit my braking points and not miss those references as we go through it turn by turn. One thing several things I'm actually really interested in hearing about and learning is, where would you overtake this car ahead of us? The end of the straight, the start and finish straight, is probably a good opportunity, so is the hairpin. I've seen other YouTubers overtake cars at the hairpin quite frequently. I've also seen YouTubers overtake cars at every single other turn, which I don't think I'm competent at. So here I'm just poking my nose in, trying to threaten the lunge into the corner, but I think better of it because I'm not sure I was close enough, so I go back onto the racing line, hit my braking point, and try to go through here as competently and quickly as possible. I do mess it up a little bit, which means the turnout is a bit too harsh, and that leaves me falling behind a little bit. But since I was able to gain on the car ahead of us, perhaps due to slightly better driving or through being in the draft, and now the car had another moment through this turn here, so pressure is perhaps mounting. I know that I can't stay with them. Here now, backing off a little bit because I want to make sure I have enough braking distance available to me as we make it through here. Not bad, not bad. Staying with the car, going tighter than them. Drifting back to the outside, accelerating, taking this one tight, trying to straighten the car as much as possible so the acceleration does put more rubber on the road. And again, so we've now identified one of the moments where that car was doing a little bit suboptimal driving compared to us. Still, we're not perfect, but compared to us, it was a bit of an opportunity perhaps. Going through here quite nicely, drifting out, staying with them, and because we're in the draft, we should be able to close the gap again and get a little closer. So now I'm going on the left. Car is defending by being in the middle. Nothing bad about this. They drift back to the left. Fine, fair enough. Gotta hit my braking points, so do they. In front of us, the car in front of us is hitting the curb. We're going a wide circle, as wide as I dare. Back to the inside, trying to make a move. And I back out. I chicken out. I didn't think it felt right. So I go back on the right. Going through here as best as I can at that reduced speed. Gearing up into gear 4 before the crest. Drifting. Not drifting. Drafting? No. Either way. Not accelerating. Coasting. That's the word. Staying with the car head. Going through here a little bit better than them, trying to make sure I don't overcommit into the corner so that I have a good exit on that one. That was a mistake, it was too tight. I saw the gap and I thought that gap was mine, but it was not the right moment for it. So patience is important here in my review. Staying with the car, being in their draft, going through here, they break a bit, we're drifting out to the outside, staying with them. Maybe this would be an opportunity. Let me know in the comments if you would have fully committed to this overtake at this point. They're defending in the middle, which is fine. I go to the left, they go to the left, and I go to the right, and back to the racing line as much as I dare because that was too far behind. Another lap, another try. Now both of us are losing time to the cars behind us because we're now trying to battle and defend, so the cars behind have caught up with us, which isn't very great. I end up too close to the bumper of the car head and I make a mistake. I slow down, I panic, and the car from behind is now closing the gap, overtaking me, and they're going to have the corner, so I need to back out. I don't manage to back out quite as much as I want, so I'm on the grass, I'm fully committed here, trying to brake, trying to keep going. Turning the car around, however, I do need to check my relative. That's why I'm stopping here. I'm checking my relative. I looked left, no car coming. Safely back on the track. And that is sort of where I've lost P6 and now I'm P7. Tough luck. It all went well until that moment where I was too close to the car's bumper. I slightly panicked because I didn't want to rear end them and ruin both of our races. So I did brake too much, went too far to the left, lost a bit of control there. And then that compromised the next entry, the exit, braking. Fortunately, no one else was affected. I'd hate to bump into other cars and ruin the race, so I'd rather go off track and then try again next time. Anyways, P7 here. Thank you very much for watching. Consider hitting that like and subscribe button to follow along my journey through iRacing and weekly race recaps. Have a good day, everyone. Bye-bye.